running.
Guys, I'm starting to get even more worried. Carly hasn't texted me back in over an hour. I think something's up.
I'm with Taylor. It's not like Carly to just break a promise. She's always so kind-hearted and respectful.
Yeah, I'm with Rose and Taylor on this one too.
So am I. I know we probably shouldn't jump to any quick conclusions on the situation right now at the moment. But, do you guys think Evan might be the reason why there's been no word from Carly yet?
I don't know, Serena. But those two are almost like brother and sister. I highly doubt Evan would do something that would put Carly in danger.
Taylor, I think it's clear we all have to face facts here. Evan must have done something to Carly.
Now just hold on a second, Declan. Remember what Serena said. We shouldn't try and jump to any quick conclusions.
Rose kind of does have a point, man. Let's all just keep calm, and wait a little while longer for an update from Carly.
I just hope she's okay.
Oh, thank God. You're awake.
Evan? Wait, what happened to me?
You passed out, just a little after you came in through the front door. I didn't want anyone to get worried or suspicious, so I dragged you over to the couch, set up a pillow for you, and let you rest.
What time is it right now?
6 o'clock.
Oh my God, I bet Taylor and the others are so worried. I need to contact them right away.
Before you do, I need to ask you a question. What would you do if your life was put into danger because of someone closest to you, and who has known you for quite some time?
Well, that's kind of a trick question. I've never had something like that happen to me before.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Evan, what's with you? You're acting very strange. I remember, right before I passed out. Evan, where's that body that I saw?
It's over there.
Oh, my God.
I'm not going to try and lie to you. You saw what you saw when you came in, and there's no denying it.
Evan, what is going on here? Why is there a dead body in your house? Evan, fucking answer me.
Alright, listen, I haven't been honest with you, or even Taylor, since the beginning, so it's about time that I finally come clean. If you would give me a chance, I will gladly explain everything.
Why should I? Give me a reason why I should give you a chance to explain yourself, and not call the police.
Because like I said, Carly, I haven't been that honest with you or Taylor, so that means there's a lot of information that's being left out, and there's much more to this story that must be addressed and clarified. If that's not enough of a reason for you to listen to me, then I don't know what is.
Alright, fine, but before you start explaining, I do believe there's a certain someone that must be notified. I think it's important that she hears what you have to say too.
Guys, Carly finally sent me a text.
Really?
Well, it's about time. What does the message say, Taylor?
Hang on, I'm reading it. Hold on a minute, this message doesn't seem right. Carly says that she found Evan at home, and he's okay, but they can't come back here yet to celebrate the rest of my birthday. She wants me to FaceTime her and Evan first.
Why on earth is Carly asking you that kind of question?
I'm not sure, she didn't give me an answer or any reason. But, She's really asking me to trust her on this, saying that it's very important. Well, I did ask Carly to update me if she learned anything, so it's worth a shot.
Well, is Taylor saying anything?
Nope, nothing yet. But it does look like she's fine with FaceTiming us. Hey Taylor.
Carly, thank God you're okay. You had all of us worried sick.
Yeah, I'm really sorry about that.
Carly, you are so getting a major beating the next time I see you.
I'd love to see you try Serena, but that's something for another time. Right now, a certain someone would like to talk to Taylor.
Hey Taylor.
Evan, the fact I'm seeing you makes me want to cry. Why didn't you show up like you promised? What happened to you? How come you're not?
Baby, I know you have a lot of questions, and I'm really sorry that I made you worry so much, especially on your birthday.
I swear to God I feel like I want to break up with you, for making me so worried, and putting me in this emotional state.
I know, but please, give me a chance to explain myself. I didn't mean to make you upset at all.
It's okay, Taylor, just let it all out.
What's going on in here? Taylor, why are you crying?
Evan made her cry, Mr. Haven.
Honey, please calm down.
Taylor.
Evan, don't. Just don't.
Evan, give me the phone. Taylor, I'm right here. Please stop crying, and look at me.
Carly, just leave Evan where he is and come home. I don't want my birthday to get more ruined.
Just hang on for a minute. Remember what you asked me to do before I came looking for Evan? You asked me to update you if I learned anything.
Why does that matter now? I'm in a very bad emotional state because Evan completely fucked everything up.
Taylor, I know, but please listen to me. What kind of sister would I be if I were to just leave you in this emotional state, without first getting some answers from Evan? Answers that you and everyone else rightfully deserve to know.
Are you trying to imply that I should listen to Evan, after all the bullshit that he put me through today?
I know it sounds crazy, but yes.
Fuck that, Carly. Evan has made me worry all day, and I'm so mad at him. He alone has completely ruined my 18th birthday. Give me a reason why I should listen to what you're trying to tell me, and why I should let Evan explain himself.
Because your boyfriend was attacked in his own home, meaning that he was almost killed.
Carly, can you repeat that please?
I said, Evan was attacked in his own home. That's why he didn't show up right away to Taylor's birthday like he promised. Taylor, Evan specifically told me that he hasn't been honest with you or me since the beginning. He's been leaving out a lot of information. But when I think about the circumstances more clearly, I think he had a good reason why.
Carly, why are you all of a sudden defending me?
Because I made a mistake earlier, Evan. I jumped to a conclusion too soon when I shouldn't have, and let my emotions rattle me. Look sis, you know as well as I do that there are always two sides to every story. One side of this story has already been kind of told, but we haven't heard the other side, specifically from Evan's point of view. Give him a chance to explain his side of this story. That might really help you think about this a lot more clearly.
Honey, today's your special day, therefore this decision is entirely up to you, and you alone. Whatever is your choice or decision, you'll have our full support.
Alright Carly, I'll give Evan a chance to explain his side on this whole thing, but on one condition though.
I'll happily agree to any conditions that you have, Taylor.
Glad we're on the same page here, babe. Now listen carefully. While you are telling your side of the story, I don't want you leaving out any information. All of us need to know everything that happened from the very beginning, all the way to the very end.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable. You've got a deal.
Excuse me, Dan, I need your help in the kitchen.
Well, that's my cue to see myself out. Taylor, I'll let your mother know what's going on, and we'll put your birthday temporarily on hold.
Alright, Dad. Hopefully this won't take too long.
Your mother and I will be in the kitchen, if you need anything.
Okay, we are all ready to listen. Carly, please hand your phone back over to Evan. I want him to tell his story to all of us, face to face. Okay, babe, the spotlight's on you.
Alright, here's what I remember, leading up to the here and now. I guess everything all started long ago, on May 4th, 2000, at a hospital located in Piners Ridge, a small town located in Colorado, just 60 miles west of Denver. Earlier that day, my mom had gone into labor, and was expecting her first child. Hours after my mom successfully delivered the new baby into the world, my grandma and my grandfather joined her in her hospital room, looking forward to meeting their first ever grandchild.
There she is. Our precious daughter, finally a mother after all this time. Still feels like yesterday, when you were just a little one in my arms.
How do you feel, Sarah?
Exhausted. 11 hours of labor, and 2 hours of pushing. I sure am tuckered out.
Well, I sure hope you're not too tuckered out when the nurse brings in our new grandson. We've been waiting for this day for a very long time.
I have too, Dad. It's been so many years since I've dreamed of having a family of my own. Now, it's finally happening. But, there's just one thing missing from this special moment.
Oh, I think your father and I already have a good idea what that something is. Or better yet, who that someone is.
Sarah, you know very well that we care about you, and will have good reason to worry if something comes up. You promised us that Owen would show up before you went into surgery to deliver the baby. The fact he hasn't, has the both of us very concerned.
What kind of father doesn't show up for the birth of his own child?
He's just running late, Mom. Owen promised that he'd be here.
I hope you're right, honey. We're just worrying as your parents, concerned that Owen may have rudely blown you off, and won't show up.
You're overthinking this, Dad. You'll see.
Not long after my grandparents talked with my mom, the nurse knocked on the door, and came into the room. In her arms, she was holding a small baby boy. That baby boy was me. My mom was overjoyed when she held me in her arms for the very first time. I would later see this when I got older, because my grandfather had brought his video camera, to record as much as he could. He had quite an knack for making homemade videos back in those days.
I think you're getting off topic, Evan. I thought you were going to tell us how everything started.
I was just about to get into that part. After all, it's why I've backtracked so far. Anyways, a few hours passed, and my mom was ready to finally settle down. While my grandma went home, my grandfather agreed to stay overnight, to give both me and my mom some much-needed company. This is when he came into the picture.
Honey.
Owen, where in God's name have you been? You missed out on the birth of your first ever child.
Sorry about that, old man. Stopped by the bar on my way here. Must have lost track of time.
Owen, it's one thing to miss out on the birth of your first ever child, but sneaking a beer into the hospital after your wife gives birth to that said child, is absolutely disgraceful.
Yeah, I doubt it is. What matters is that I'm here now. So where's my new child?
Honestly, I don't even think you deserve to see him right now, not after you blew Sarah off, for alcohol of all things.
Yep, my dad, referred to by everyone as Owen. My grandfather told me my dad was a very kind man when he first met my mom, but after they got married, things had started to go downhill, and my dad's behavior changed.
I demand to see my newborn child right now.
Owen, that's quite enough. We don't need any kind of conflict here, especially during the hospital's quiet hours. I think you should leave.
I'm not going anywhere. I demand to see my newborn son. Sarah, let me see him. As for you, old man, get out of my way.
Owen, you need to stop with all of this yelling, or else the nurse will have to call security, and they'll escort you out of this room. Please, just go, before things get worse.
Shut up, I'm not taking orders from the likes of you. Now I'm giving you one last chance. Move.
My grandfather didn't move, and stood there, knowing that if things got out of hand, I could have been hurt. Security was quickly brought in, and they escorted my dad out of the room. His yelling almost caused me to cry, but my mom managed to calm me down in the nick of time.
Sarah, I'm genuinely concerned. That kind of erratic behavior from Owen can't continue, especially now that you have a child to take care of. I think it's important that you consider taking some action, for the sake and the safety of this little fella.
My mom was always one to really think about my grandfather's advice, but when it came to stuff involving my dad, it was very difficult for her.
So the seeds of disaster were already planted way back then.
That's what I believe. So with me now in the picture, and my mom oblivious to the change in my dad's worsening behavior, my grandparents were being given more and more reasons to worry.
Do you think Sarah will listen to what we're trying to tell her?
I sure hope so. We've raised Sarah right throughout her childhood, and especially looked out for her during her teenage years. Throwing all of that maturity away, just because she still sees some possible good in Owen, would be devastating. Besides, you and I are in our golden years, and before we know it, we will no longer be here for Sarah to help her. The last thing I want before that happens, is for Sarah to keep living in this fantasy.
So then we just need to try and convince her to get out of her marriage, before it gets worse. I know it's taken Sarah a very long time to find someone, but the red flags can't simply be ignored.
I know. Even so, trying to convince Sarah to leave Owen will be easier said than done. Owen is a very big man in his 30s, and doesn't take too kindly to us being in his presence. He's a ticking time bomb, whose fuse could be lit at any moment. If even the slightest wrong move is made, we could be put into danger. The same goes for Sarah, and our grandson.
So then what do we do?
What we can do for right now. Try and be there for Sarah and little baby Evan, as much as we can, while trying our best to stay out of Owen's way, to avoid setting him off.
I think back then, my grandparents had a plan to help out my mom. From what I can remember, my grandparents would come by often, to assist my mom with taking care of me, which really made things a lot easier for her. But whenever my dad was home, my grandparents played it safe, and didn't take the time to go and see us. They had good reason to, because over the next 5 years as I got older, my dad continued to get more and more addicted to alcohol, and soon developed a drinking problem. My mom thought he would have stopped at some point, but he didn't. And it ended up leading to trouble. I'll never forget that night. I was 5 years old, playing with one of my favorite toys before bed.
Evan, sweetie, it's time for bed.
But Mommy, I'm still playing.
Come on, sweetie, let's put the car away, and get you tucked in. You can play some more tomorrow. And there we go, all tucked in. Sweet dreams, Evan. I love you.
I love you too, Mommy.
My mom gave me a goodnight kiss, walked out of my room, turned out my light, and within minutes, I was fast asleep.
Mommy, help me.
Damn it, where are my glasses?
Mom ran into the room, and she was horrified by what she saw. My dad had just come home from the bar, having had a few drinks. And he had raped me.
My God, babe, that's awful.
My mom was horrified and in shock, as my dad got up and then just stood there as if he did nothing wrong, while I got out of my bed and ran over to where my mom was, as I cried uncontrollably.
Sarah, honey, this is all a misunderstanding.
Owen, you sick, perv.
Mommy, what does perv mean?
Oh, it's nothing, honey, you wouldn't understand. Come on, let's go get you a drink, then we'll sleep together in the living room.
And for the first time in what seemed like forever, because of that one incident alone, my mom finally saw my dad's flaws, and she filed for divorce. Once the divorce was finalized, my mom and I moved in with my grandparents, who were more than happy to let us stay with them, until my mom could get back on her feet. I was struggling too. Almost every night I would have nightmares about what my dad did to me, and some nights I couldn't even sleep. My mom tried everything in her power to make me feel better, but going through something as traumatizing as rape was proving to be too much to handle. Then, as if things couldn't have gotten any worse, they did. My grandma was killed in a car crash by a drunk driver, and it took a severe toll on my family. It seemed things were just going downhill one after another. First my dad rapes his own son, then my mom finds herself unsure what to do to help me get better, and now my grandma had lost her life in a devastating and unfair way. It took weeks, maybe even a month, for my mom and my grandpa to try and start moving on from all the grief. They knew that I needed help, to try and get back on a stable path. After a bit of research, and careful consideration, they signed me up for some at-home therapy sessions. The man who saw me on a weekly basis was named Dr. Monroe.
Hello Evan. How are you doing today?
I'm doing okay, I guess. I'm just feeling very sad.
Well, certainly can't have that, can we? Let's see if we can turn your frown upside down, and turn it into a smile.
Dr. Monroe's first name was Gabe, and he did everything he could to try and help me. It was very difficult at first for me to interact with someone I've never met before, but Dr. Monroe never gave up, and over time as I got older, he and I began to develop a very close bond, as if he was the father figure I had always wanted.
So, do you believe now that you're in a better place?
Yeah, I suppose I am.
Well, that's good to hear. Then I suppose there's nothing else I need to help you with. After so many years, you've grown into a very fine 10-year-old man, and I think it's time you start finding your own levels of maturity on your own.
I sure hope I can. Listen, Dr. Monroe. I just want to say that I really am thankful for all of your help. I'm glad you've done what you can to help me over the last few years.
Think nothing of it, Evan. I'm just doing my job. And please, call me Gabe.
Very well, Gabe it is.
Now, before we end this final session, why don't you and I take a nice little drive, and we'll go get some ice cream. My treat.
Unfortunately, trouble came knocking.
What was that?
Move out of my way. I want
That's
to see
enough.
my son.
You shouldn't be
I
here.
have my legal rights.
Owen, how dare you break into my house like that?
2 words, old man. Free country. I can do what I want.
You need to leave and get off of this property, or else I'm calling the sheriff.
Go ahead, call him. I don't give a damn. It's your own fault that I'm here.
Owen, I'm serious. You need to leave right now.
Just stop, Owen. You're drunk, and me too.
Shut your mouth, whore. You are my property, and do not speak unless you are given consent.
Hey, don't you ever say that kind of shit to my daughter.
I just stood there, not feeling any emotion, and too nervous to run away or say anything. But Gabe was infuriated by all the things my dad was saying, and decided to take matters into his own hands.
You call yourself a man? You are more like a drunken-ass man-child. No woman should ever be viewed as property, because that's just wrong.
Oh wow, a smartass. Why don't you leave and go back to your neighborhood, you ugly?
And without a care in the world, my dad called Gabe the N-word, right to his face.
The hell?
Now that's just wrong. Anyone who says the N-word to an African American is sure to get an ass kicking.
Oh, my dad did get an ass kicking. Gabe literally beat the living shit out of him and didn't let up. After a few minutes, Gabe stopped, and my dad was forced to retreat, bleeding and badly bruised. Gabe still took me out for ice cream, but I never saw him again after the incident. It sucked, but I knew I had to listen to him and move on.
And what happened to your dad?
After the incident between Gabe and my dad, my mom got a restraining order, and all of us in the family hoped everything would go back to normal. But despite the restraining order, my dad never stopped. Not long after the incident, my dad started to stalk me and my mom almost everywhere we went. He just stood there, watching us, while drinking a beer. When I tried to tell my mom, and have her look for herself, my dad always managed to slip away. I felt embarrassed for making my mom worry for nothing, but I knew for a fact, I was seeing my dad. The stalking went on for years, but I was helpless to tell my mom about it, because she always thought I was lying. In the back of my head, I knew something bad was going to happen, but I didn't know what that something was. I soon found out, a few weeks after I turned 17. I was by myself at the park, waiting for my mom to pick me up.
Evan? Is that you?
Oh, hi Gabe, this is certainly quite the surprise.
It is. I certainly wasn't expecting us to cross paths again. It's been like, what? About 7 years since I last saw you? Where has the time gone? How have you been?
I've been doing well, and so has my mom. But nothing's changed much for us. My mom's tried her best to find stable income, but we're still temporarily living with my grandfather, and that's sadly not going to last much longer. He's gotten very sick, and I think his time has almost nearly come.
Oh dear, Evan, I'm so sorry to hear that. My condolences and prayers go out to you and your family.
Greatly appreciated. What about you? How have you been doing?
Now, you've learned your lesson.
Dad, what the hell is wrong with you?
What do you mean? I did the world a big favor and made sure that Dr. Mongrove got what he deserved.
You are sick. You just killed an innocent man.
And I'll do it again. Everyone is against me. And it's all your fault. Same with that whore, the old man, and anyone else who has defied me. My life is a wreck because of you people. Now, you will pay the ultimate price.
Dad, don't do it.
Too late. Die, you worthless excuse of a son. The hell? Why is this damn thing not working?
The pistol somehow jammed, and that was my only window of opportunity to escape. I ran as far away from that park as I could, and didn't stop. I was too scared to comprehend what had just happened. After running for almost 2 miles, I hid in a nearby alleyway, then texted my mom to let her know what had happened. Gabe was pronounced dead at the scene of the crime, while my dad was nowhere to be found. My dad shooting Gabe was the last straw. And later that same night, my mom and I were asked to meet my grandfather in his bedroom.
Good, you're both here. Now, I think we all know why I've called you both in here to come and see me. Evan, it's become very clear that your dad, the man all of us thought was a loving, kind and respectful man, is gone for good. He has fully turned into someone filled with anger, and who is pure evil on the inside, as if he's like a devil in disguise. I know how difficult it must have been for you, to witness someone close to you get murdered. Something like that is never forgettable, no matter how hard you try and move on.
I still can't believe Owen would kill a man as innocent as Dr. Mongrove. He's done so much for our family.
Indeed. I am forever grateful for what Mr. Mongrove has done for Evan. I'll have to send my regards to him in person, once my time has come to. But that's for a later time. The important thing right now is to focus on this urgent matter. It's evident that it's become far too dangerous for you both to continue living here in Piners Ridge.
But Dad, we can't just pack things up and move. I don't have the money, and I'm struggling to find another job.
I had a feeling you'd say that, Sarah. The thing is, you actually are more than capable of moving out of this house and leaving Piners Ridge for good, before Owen has any kind of chance to finish what he started. Because you have over $1 million in your savings account, all ready to go for you.
$1 million.
Yes, honey. I know it sounds crazy, or even illogical for that to be even possible, but what I'm saying to you now is the truth. You would have been told about the money sooner, but after everything with Owen started happening, no chances could be taken. If Owen found out that a large sum of cash was right underneath his nose, he would have never stopped, until he got his hands on it. All of that money will be far more than enough to rent a moving truck, pack up everything you want to take with you, and move somewhere else to help you both start over.
But how did you manage to get $1 million into my savings account?
Through lots of hard work, a few strings being pulled, and some sacrifices along the way. When you have over 40 years in business experience, it's actually easier than it sounds. And the reason I deposited such a large amount of money into your account, Sarah, is a simple one. I promised myself that before I went to heaven, I would make sure you and Evan were both at a good place in life. I know you both were born and raised here in Piners Ridge since the beginning, and leaving would be too emotional. But given the circumstances of what Owen's been doing for years, and with what he's done today, it's not worth the risk to stay here.
Well, now that I know all of this information, where are me and Evan supposed to move to?
That's entirely up to you, honey. Though if I had to give you my honest opinion, I'd highly recommend heading west, for the coasts of California. Then pass through San Francisco and travel north, then keep going until you reach a town known as Tyndale Valley. Your mom and I would always visit there every summer. From what I can remember, it's a great place to raise a family. There's always lots to do there, and it would be a great place for Evan to try and make some new friends. The properties there though aren't going to come cheap, but I think investing into one of them would be more than worth it. Plus there's always lots of suitable jobs and employment options, so covering living expenses shouldn't be a problem either.
I suppose I could take a look at some of the properties online, first thing tomorrow.
If we're serious about moving to California to this, Tyndale Valley, how long do you think it'll take for the move to happen?
If all goes well, we could be out of Piners Ridge by November at the earliest. I guess the sooner, the better.
What about my dad? He could return one day to kill us without warning.
Oh, I highly doubt that, Evan. Your dad's face was all over the evening news. He's a wanted man for murder, and police aren't going to give up until he's found. I doubt even your dad is stupid enough to show his face here in Piners Ridge again, after shooting an innocent African American. If he's recognized by even one person around here, the police are sure to find and arrest him in no time. For now, until you move out of this town, I think you and your mom are safe.
And from that night on, my mom had a plan in place, and we agreed to move out as soon as we could. 1 month later, my grandfather's heart finally gave out on him, and he passed away. But thanks to all of his help, my mom and I were able to get out of Piners Ridge, and move all the way here to Tyndale Valley. Honestly, if it wasn't for what my grandfather did, I don't know where I would be today.
My God. Babe, I'm speechless right now with what you just told all of us. I'm really sorry that stuff happened to you.
Thanks very much, baby.
Alright, now I think it's time that you answer a question, Evan. One that I'm sure all of us have on our lips. What connection does your backstory have to today's events that caused you to not show up for Taylor's birthday?
This is what happened. I had gotten Taylor's text, getting the invite to her birthday, just as I had finished wrapping up the birthday present that I got her.
Hey honey, what are you up to?
Hey mom, I'm just preparing to head out to see Taylor. Today is her 18th birthday, and I'm looking forward to spending it with her.
Really? Well, good for her. Tell Taylor I said happy birthday.
I sure will.
Just came in to say goodbye and that I love you, before heading into work. But before I leave, may I suggest that you wear a face mask if you're going over to Taylor's?
Mom, you worry too much. There have been only a few minor reported cases here in Tyndale Valley since the pandemic started, all of which resulted in no deaths, and the virus itself faded away from town earlier this August. But I get it, masks are still a major requirement until the pandemic blows over.
And that's why you should follow standard procedure, and wear a face mask too, just to be safe. Same with those new friends of yours that you've been hanging out with since late October, early November.
Hey, it's not my fault that Taylor, Carly, Jace, Jessica, and their friends don't wear face masks as often as they're supposed to like everyone else.
Well, then they can't go complaining if they end up getting sick. Anyway, I better get going before I'm late for work. Bye, Evan. I love you.
Bye, Mom. I love you too, and stay safe. A couple hours later, I shot Taylor the text to let her know that I was on my way. Before I left, I decided to make myself something really quick to eat, which I figured would only take me 10 to 15 minutes tops. Unfortunately, I never got that chance.
Hello, son. Tell me, have you missed your daddy?
No, this has to be some kind of trick. You're nothing but a bad memory in my head.
Oh, believe me, I'm not a memory. Did you honestly think you and your mother could get away that easily?
How did you find out about our new address?
That is none of your concern. Now, I do believe we got a lot of catching up to do. Get your mother on the phone. Tell her she needs to come home. Get on the fucking phone. That's an order. Whatever I say goes.
No, you can fuck off.
You want to rephrase that? You're the worthless piece of shit who is staring down my pistol.
True, but you think that pistol will give you all the authority and judgment to do whatever you want right now. Truth is, all of your drinking over the years has caused you to lose your sanity, and you're making a mistake.
Wrong. The only mistake here is that you actually think you have any room to talk. I am always superior, always in control, and always will get my way. Nobody can stop me. Not your mother, not the police, and especially not you.
Listen to yourself, you aren't thinking clearly. You're only doing this because you're allowing foolish actions to cloud your mind. But if you insist, then go ahead and shoot me. But I doubt you have the balls to do it, old man.
Doubt that I have the balls to do it, huh? Well then, I say we test that theory.
I warned you that you were making a mistake. Now don't you fucking move.
You are a fool. That pistol is useless to you. I suggest you hand it over.
Just leave, Dad. It's over. You have nothing left. You're now being warned that you shouldn't have come here at all, because this is the result of your foolish actions.
Give me my fucking pistol. You and your mother are going to pay for ruining my life. Your mom sent me to rehab back to the divorce to try and help me. I was told to stay away so I could move on with my life. And I've been drinking non-stop. All that stuff is you and your mother's fault.
Shut up, Dad. Enough with blaming the results of your failure on others.
Fine. Be that way. If you're not going to take responsibility for ruining my life, then you leave me with no choice. It's time for you to die.
You first. And that's what happened. My dad had all the intention to kill both my mom and me. Probably himself too, so that if the police found out about his location, they wouldn't have a chance to arrest him. but as quickly as things started, I managed to gain control of the situation, and got my hands on my dad's pistol. However, I saw no alternative to ending the conflict. My dad would have either escaped before I could call the police, or would have tried to continue fighting until he got his pistol back. So I had no choice but to shoot my dad.
My God.
It was either that, or die trying to save myself from a horrible fate. I did clean up all the blood after the shooting, but I didn't bother cleaning up any of the living room damage from the fight. At least not yet, until Carly fainted after coming in through the front door, when she saw the aftermath of what had happened. While she rested, I knew I had to try and clean up the living room as best as I could. I knew it wasn't going to be enough to trick Carly, but it was all I could do. And now, I sit here on the couch, talking to each and every one of you about my past, while being unable to leave because of the dead body decomposing in my house.
Hey everyone, I have a big favor to ask you all. Can you give me and Evan some time alone to talk in private? There's a lot I need to get off my chest.
Okay, Taylor.
Yeah, we better give Taylor and Evan some alone time to talk things out.
Look, babe. Don't say anything. What you've told all of us must have been hard for you, and I'm proud of you for being able to come forward and explain your history. Fact of the matter is, you've done something that you simply cannot undo. So here's my advice. Own up to your actions for killing your dad, and do what you can to get yourself out of this situation. If you'd like, my mom can help you out too if you need help finding a lawyer. At this point, the best thing to do is to let the rest of my birthday go on without you. I know it sucks, but I don't really think there's any alternative. I can at least say that I forgive you for what happened. Knowing that my boyfriend is okay and that nothing bad has happened to him, is all I can really ask for. My 18th birthday may not have gone the way I hoped, but honestly, I need to make an exception. We're going to get through this, together. I promise.
Thank you so much for coming, everyone.
Go ahead, love, make a wish.
That's honestly a tough one. This birthday already seems so perfect.
Trust your heart, Jessica. Give it a little thought.
I got it.
Way to go, Jess.
Now, to cut the first piece of cake. Here we are.
Yo Jessica, why don't you give the first piece to Jace?
I was going to Taylor. Then again, this boyfriend of mine could do something cheeky.
Oh come on love, I would never do anything like that. I would do this.
You missed.
You'll want to rephrase that, Jessica.
Oops.
Jace, you'll be hearing from my lawyer.
Lighten up, Steph. It's not that bad.
Taylor, you're not the one with chocolate stuck in your hair.
Don't worry, Stephanie, you'll be cleaned up in no time. Jace, no cake for you until you help Stephanie get all the frosting out of her hair.
But it was an accident.
Sorry babe, I don't think you can talk yourself out of this one.
Don't I have a say in this?
No, you do not. Now let's go, mister.
Man, I cannot wait for this stupid ass year to be over with.
Now then, who wants cake?
Okay, we have to try and start making predictions on what Jace's surprise for Jessica is going to be.
Well, it's not like we can guess it in the next 2 hours, before 4 reals do their special performance outside in the backyard.
Oh come on, Kylie. Where is your enthusiasm?
I'm just saying, maybe Jace's surprise is just really simple, like a specially made birthday gift or something.
True. Or maybe the surprise could be something really exciting.
Well, we'll just have to wait and see. Who knows what Jace has in store waiting to be unveiled.
Oh, come on, Elvis. Surely Jace told you or Mimi about what the surprise was. Didn't he?
Nope, Jace didn't tell us either. Elvis and I offered to have him tell us, and then have us keep it a secret as well. But Jace kindly said no thank you, because he really wanted to give the surprise more of a suspense factor.
I guess that makes sense. Though it seems Amberlynn disagrees with what she said.
Well, guess we'll have to take Vice Principal Elvis's advice, and just wait. Won't have to be for very long though.
Hello everybody, thank you all for your patience, and for coming out for tonight's special performance. But just you are the four of us. I am Carly Haven, lead singer.
I am Taylor Haven, on guitar.
I am Serena Frost, on bass.
And I am Marcel Wright, on drums. Together we are For Reals.
Tonight we celebrate Jessica K. Anderson's 21st birthday, while getting even closer to the end of 2020. I'd like to also take this time to thank my friend Stephanie Phillips. Thanks to her, you all will get to hear me sing for the first time ever during a For Reals performance. During this first song, you will get to hear what my singing voice is like now.
And that first song is called Crack the Sky. In a way, this song represents all of us, as we say goodbye to this year, and start to see the light towards recovery. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4.
Drop this mind, show your fangs and your true intentions. Cut the crap and spit out the poison without vague insinuations. You got something to say it to my face.
I know that you hate me, but I think that I can live with that.
Last man standing, the last resort.
I'd rather walk alone and save myself until the day that I die. Until the day that I die. A lot of nothing, and we are stuck here in this damn bit of misery. Too late to save us now, save you from yourself. Nothing, a lot of nothing, to take us through the hell we're in. Let this be our goodbye, crack the sky, and see the light.
Every curse is bent like a toxic air pollution. Hogwash, jibber jabber, speaking in tongues, another rock bottom sensation. You got something to say it to my face.
I know that you hate me, but I think that I can live with that.
Last man standing, the last resort.
I'd rather walk alone and save myself until the day that I die. Until the day that I die. A lot of nothing, and we are stuck here in this damn bit of misery. Too late to save us now, save you from yourself. Nothing, a lot of nothing, to take us through the hell we're in.
Thank you everyone. And great job rocking out with those dance moves. Now before we perform our next song, Ain't Nobody Like You, we would like to invite someone up here. Jace Hubbard, I believe you have a surprise for Jessica that's ready to be revealed.
Oh. Well, I thought I could have waited till after the entire performance.
Oh come on Jace, grow a pair of balls.
Baby, you might as well get up there. There isn't really much you can do now that Taylor's trying to throw some insults your way.
Well, I guess I don't really have a choice then. Well, I wasn't exactly expecting to come up here right away. So, I'll just wing it. First and foremost, happy birthday to my lovely girlfriend, Jessica. You and I have had quite a journey together, and I look forward to what our future has in store. Now on to the reason why I'm up here. As some of you already know, I have a surprise for Jessica's birthday, but I haven't revealed what that surprise is. Until now. Everyone, in just a couple months' time, I will be relocating to a new housing unit in Tyndale Valley, to help me start living on my own and be more independent. And Jess, I want you to move in with me.
Jace, you're not serious, are you?
Of course I am, Carly. I know it's often a bad idea sometimes for couples to move in together. But Jessica and I have been through so much together. If there's anyone I want to pick to move in with me, she'll always be my first choice. But ultimately, the final decision rests on Jessica, and nobody else. So Jess, do you want to take me upon my offer now? Or, do you want to wait until you're more comfortable with moving in with me? This is entirely up to you, and no matter what your decision is, I'll stand by you on it.
The same goes for us too.
Choose what you think is right, Jessica.